Hi, my name is Ryan Wilcox. You're watching PoliticIt. Today, we're not really talking politics. I mean, there's a little bit of politics, but I have a special guest here, and we're going to be talking something a lot more fun here, getting up for Christmas, baseball. We have a special guest here, Congressman Blake Moore, and Blake and I have had a lot of fun with the baseball thing, and so we do want to let you know about it. We've got some really exciting things to share with this audience that you may or may not have been aware about. A lot of this stuff has been conversations that we've been having, a lot of our friends have been having for years now behind the scenes, and we've made some announcements earlier this year about this topic. But Utah is one of a handful of contenders right now for Major League expansion. We're talking Major League Baseball here in Salt Lake City, here in downtown, just down the street from Ogden, where we're sitting right now for the podcast today. And there's a lot of things that have gone into this over time, but we'll just say that we are very well positioned for this opportunity, and we couldn't be more excited. So this is something that Congressman and I share, frankly, a passion for this particular sport. I think it's been a part of childhood up through adulthood now. We're still doing that. A lot of coaching, a lot of hours spent in ballparks. For me, I'm sitting here, I'm holding an Ogden Raptors baseball. The first date with my wife was at an Ogden Raptors game in the River Bottoms, in 1996 before we had a stadium, right? So I felt this sort of in the blood for a long time. And the opportunity, the fantasy, as a little boy, and this is also a bizarre connection with Congressman Moore that we discovered when you were first running. As a little boy, I fell in love with baseball in really 85, 86, which led me to being a big Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, Ray Knight, Mookie, I call down the list. Big Mets fan.
Yep.
Right. And
Jeffries.
Jeffries. I've had that question my whole life about why in the world you're a Mets fan, and that doesn't make any sense. Well, it's really because I fell in love with baseball at the wrong time. And apparently the congressman did too. Because we were at a concert in the middle of the pandemic in Box Elder County, and he's wearing a Mets hat. Listening to Lee Greenwood live.
And you're like, wait a minute. No way. You're a Mets fan too? We're gonna have to get along. We're gonna have to get along now. We've both been through misery. It's tough
for a long time.
You get close, and then it just slips right away from you.
We spent a lot of money. Have never been successful.
So I got the Darryl Strawberry rookie card, and I thought was my guy.
Yeah,
and I was about the same age. I was, I was 7, 8 years old, and and ever since then, that's what it is. So that brought us together. I think we would both like to be able to cheer for a Utah team.
Well, I mentioned that just for everyone's sake, because as a little boy in love with baseball, I had no shot at ever seeing them play live. I got lucky if I saw them twice a year on Saturdays on television, and then just they had to make the playoffs if I wanted to see them on TV. It just was so inaccessible for kids.
I got one for you on that.
Yeah,
my dad is a Yankees fan because he grew up in that era.
My dad was too.
Yeah, and so that era drew a lot of Yankees fans.
Yeah.
And he told me, he was always just like, the Mets. You got to be kidding me. You're a Mets fan, and no one else in my family had even come close to that. Yeah. And he told me, all right, if the Mets and the Yanks ever make the Subway Series World Series again, I'm going to take you.
Oh,
and he probably meant, he did that like knowing that was never going to happen.
Literally never.
And in 2000, it happened.
You got to go.
And guess what? I was on my mission.
Oh,
so my dad got out of it scot-free. He didn't have to take me. I would have taken you. I would have gotten your front row seats, son. I'm like, you couldn't afford front row. We couldn't afford front row seats, Dad. But he always like, I would have taken you, son, if you weren't out there in Korea. So I missed that opportunity, and then I still remember. Anyway, so
Korean Baseball League just probably wasn't as exciting.
It was fun.
At that moment.
Went to a few games, but it wasn't quite it.
Well, okay, so there are two things, right? Every other kid watching this from that era, whatever, every other sports fan in Utah, we've had one option as the Utah Jazz. That's it. It was our only major league level franchise. And, same thing, in love with John Stockton and Karl Malone and Thurl and everybody, Mark Eaton, all of them. And the 2 years that they went to the finals, I was similarly on a church mission.
Oh, no way. I got to go. I saw game 5. I saw Jordan play.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
got
flu
to go to
game?
that one, the flu game.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, another one of my buddies. They had a lot of fun. Everybody that was here, he had his shoes. Jordan gave him the shoes from the flu game, and then he sold them years later for a lot.
All to say, Utahns, we're sports fans.
Yeah.
Sports fans. We're set up for success for this potential expansion.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the geographics, you look at the numbers on it, you look at the economic side of it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're set for success on this.
I've had a million people as we've rolled this out, and it's becoming more, part of the conversation with average citizen in Utah. Are you serious? And even baseball people, do we really have a shot at that? And I'm here to tell you, like, we really do. This is real. The Miller family has a very long track record of professional sports ownership and know exactly what that means to go into there. So when we've had the conversations with the commissioner of baseball, when we've had the conversation with national experts and sports writers and the people that do this for a living, for a career outside of the major markets, it's very real. There is a very realistic shot at bringing a major league expansion franchise to Salt Lake City in the near term. And we're super excited to tell you about some of it. Like, we're talking, well, what's the first question you get?
So,
yeah.
Well, it was always, well, you already have a AAA ball club.
Uh-huh.
Would it
compete?
Yeah, they competing? Would they cannibalize each other? That one is something I've seen the Miller family had directly deal with head on, and I'm like, I defer to the experts, and yeah, the numbers are clear. And then this has been done in others.
That happens in several markets around the country already. Yeah.
Do we have the population to withstand a 81 game season? Because of 81 home games, some other places don't as much, and they don't have the growth as much as we do and the interest. And so I just, that's a question.
We're the 19th largest market.
Yeah.
My TV numbers right now.
Right in the meat of the curve on that.
Yep.
And I think there'll be excitement enough to get out there, and you get a few successful seasons. I don't have a concern in the world on that.
I don't either. We're the 17th. I'm looking at some of the numbers here. 17th highest projected attendance by the study that was done. Again, not by us, by the independent firms.
Utahns have wanted.
Yeah.
They're going to want to see some of these other. They're going to want it when Shohei comes to town.
Oh yeah.
Before we can get that contract. I don't know if
we're
for his contract yet.
I think we'll start off with that one.
But when he comes to town, the place is going to be packed.
Oh, it's going to be packed for a while.
The Jazz games are constantly packed. Like, even in downtimes, we've got a good fan base, and it's something that people care about. I mean, think about it. For me, Ogden Athletics. My older brothers would go down, and they have a Ricky Henderson bat signed, and he played at the Ogden Athletics. Like, there's such a rich history of baseball here.
Yeah.
One of my first memories of anything sports related was my dad taking me to Old Dirks Field, watching the Trappers play.
Yeah.
And
who, by the way, are the
Ogden Raptors.
Ogden Raptors.
Yep. So there's a rich history. It's rooted in the community. 1st of April, there might be a little snow sometimes. We'll deal with that. It's gonna be we'll be fine to do that. And you can play baseball clear through October. That's not a concern for the weather's gonna be great.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities here. I want to talk about what the difference is, and frankly, what some of the studies have shown for families, how baseball is a little bit different. We've talked about the Jazz. I don't know if you've been to a Jazz game recently. I've done that. We have the RSLs there now. It's a little bit different demographic. It's down in Sandy. Baseball is unique in that it is very specifically family friendly.
Right.
In other words, more than any other sport, you're far more likely, numbers show this, far more likely to be walking into a stadium with a little kid than in any other sport. Families attend baseball together. It's far more accessible financially because you're gonna have the crazy expensive suites and all of those things that really pay the big salaries, but you also have the $10 tickets.
Yep, exactly.
And not only in this case, we have the youngest state in the nation, we have the most family-friendly state in the nation, we have the youngest median age, #1 economy, eighth highest household income. So not only can we support it,
and an intense Little League world.
An intense
a lot of Little League dads like you.
That's
and me.
right. That's right. And
so not only can we support it, but
I got a text message this morning from one of my friends that I coached with this last year, from Texas. He's a Rangers fan. So now in Mets world, he got to watch Scherzer and DeGrom winning World Series.
Tough.
Besides that, he's texted me this morning, "Hey, you thinking about baseball?" And said, "Yeah, just about every day." And what he's wondering is like, all right, let's get the boys into the room, and with the machines and winter ball, and let's get them going. And they're little,
yeah,
and they're itching for it.
No,
they're excited.
It's going to be great for the West Valley area too.
Yeah,
that was part of the launch. It was so awesome to see this, and it's that in all the surrounding communities up and down Utah, St. George has always been one of the key things because the weather's so conducive to it all year round. So like, yeah, the community's ready for it. So for me, like every time I do an event, or you do you have to go around the room, just a quick get to know you. Hey, where are you from? What's your name? Just quick who you work for. Yeah. And I want to know, what would be your team name? I make everybody, like people in Washington, D.C. are like, why am I telling
That's what I thought you were going to say when I asked you that question.
Random congressman, like what I think the Salt Lake or the Utah team name should be. But like it's fun to talk about and anticipate. I get to play in the Congressional Baseball game. Yeah. Where the Republicans and Democrats have played in a game for a century, right? It's one of the longest standing.
It's a charity fundraiser, national park.
Like $1.5 million for charity. It's in the Major League ballpark. Yeah. So I'll wear my Big League Utah hat, during it, and just try to promote it, and you get a chance to meet with some of the MLB folks, and just speak positively and just make that case that Utah's got it.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you guys know this, but they do baseball cards for the Congressional Baseball game. And I've been after Congressman Moore for a while.
It's tough to get. Like this is easy for you to get.
Yeah, I know. I tried like several times in the office.
Is it Beckett? Is Beckett still do the
ratings?
The ratings.
Yeah, I ought to find out.
I think it was less. I think it was minus 5 cents what this one's worth.
Yeah, there's a few rating agencies. I have to try a different one, see if I get a better price. But yes, I just want everybody to see here. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one. I already had these two. These are the last 2 years of baseball cards for the Congressional Baseball game. But this one right here, you can see that. You can zoom in, or maybe I don't know if that works or not. Cool, but this
little Raptors jersey right there.
Holy crap! It is a Raptors jersey. That's freaking awesome.
Repping that.
He's wearing a Raptors jersey and a crush. Okay, this is the rookie card. So autographed Blake Moore rookie card. You pitched in this game?
I did not pitch in that game. I'm playing left field.
Left field, center field. Okay, so we all have things from our childhood. Our favorite
rookie at the age of 40.
Rookie at the age of 40. Yeah. I don't know what the Mets are going to be calling, but
where can you go and watch like 60-year-old men playing baseball? But it's great. Everybody's like, oh, and it's a softball game. No, it's a baseball game. We're playing hardball baseball, but we're typical. So I think one of the best things is my good buddy Spencer Nelson. He played basketball for Utah State.
Oh, right.
He does a lot of 1280 The Zone, and he does some of the jazz stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
So he texted the clip of the home
run
inside the park home run.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
And he goes, and the guy responded back. I think it was one of the guys for 1280 responded back. He goes, watching Blake Moore run the bases was the most exciting 2 minutes in Utah sports history.
For the non-baseball people, that's not very fast.
Now first and third, 2 outs, and a swing by Blake Moore out to center. That's going to get over the head of Aldred. That's going to clear the bases as Blake Moore rounding first. He's going to head for third. Ball at the warning track. Aldred retreats to pick it up. And Moore around third. He's going to try for home. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. Moore scores standing up with an inside the park home run as he climbs the fence behind home plate and clears the bases. A 3-run home run by Blake Moore in the first pitch, giving the Republicans the lead, 4-3.
Unbelievable.
Not wasting any time up there. Pinch runners come around to third, and he was flying around. He was not stopping at third, Mitch. Let's take a look at the replay. As Moore with the first pitch swinging. He takes a peek as he rounds second. Going for third. He goes right through being waved home. He wasn't stopping. Takes a peak back.
He's going to go for it.
He was going for
But To be fair, way faster than what I would have
Scotty
done.
Gerard. It was Scotty Gerard.
Oh,
I remember who it was.
There's Scotty.
He's on my list, Scotty. I'm trying to keep that under 90 seconds now.
Well, I'm trying to want to answer as many of the questions that we've had. The naming thing has been really common questions. I think the Spikes has been a real popular name. You have obviously the double play.
My choice.
You said that out of the gate. I actually think we ought to do the Raptors and just go all in on it. The Utah Raptor. I don't know why Toronto thinks they get the Raptors.
We should force them to lose that.
That's ridiculous. It's discovered in Utah. Had nothing to do with Toronto.
It's the name of the Raptor.
Yeah, seriously, Utah Raptor. Okay, so anyway, there's that argument. And then you have the Trappers. You have the Gulls, which is the minor league club in Salt Lake when I was born, right? It was the Gulls. And they have some cool jerseys. I like those ones.
A lot of good options. But back to the Spikes.
Okay.
What do they call baseball cleats?
Yeah, I know. That's why the double,
Double meaning.
Yeah, you have to lace up your spikes, all of that. They're right. That's probably the easiest, especially with the Golden Spike thing, and a lot of easy tie-ins. Box Elder County probably appreciates that one if we go that way.
We should.
And it does have an easy
district in the nation.
That's right. It's also very first congressional district centric.
Yes.
To throw in the political angle. But in all seriousness, though, there isn't a sport that's compatible with Utah values, Utah tradition. We've had dozens of minor league baseball clubs here over the years. Some really funny names, like the Salt Lake Elders was a team. There's just like.
But what you've said, and I never really thought about it like that. It is becoming a very corporate world. My goodness, college football is becoming a corporate world.
Yeah.
For you to highlight that. What other sporting event do you see families walking in with young kids? And you can go down on 13th South at Smith's Ballpark and you see it right there. Like this is still that sport that you go and you go sit and you just go and hang out, and it's not a super intense situation until you get to those innings that really get it, and then it's but otherwise you're just having a hot dog.
Yeah,
it's real traditional, and it's family friendly.
No, it's our happy place, like the ballpark for us. That's
justify buying jazz tickets sometimes.
Oh no! Sometimes we don't do it much at all
It's
anymore.
It's tough.
Yeah, no, that is hard. But I'm excited about this. We've got some good survey data back. We've had some research firms identifying, and just want to mention some of this. 93% of Utahns surveyed identified as Major League Baseball fans. That was higher than NBA. We've had a team here, right? Like that was all over the place. 90% have a positive attitude to our welcoming and expansion team. 94% interested in attending Major League games in Utah. And 91% said they were interested in buying season tickets. That number is crazy.
That's really high.
Right? Season tickets? Like I expect 91% to say, yeah, I want to go to a game.
It shows you that it is more accessible. And it counters my concern that I mentioned about 81 games.
Yeah.
They recognize like there's a lot of flexible options. No one can go to, unless that's just part of your gig. Like it's hard to go to 81 games for any particular person. So you can share them with friends and family.
That's it.
And you get there. And so I can that is high. It seems high, but I could see why it's higher than most people because they know that it's out of reach for some other sports.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the site too, because this is pretty cool. What we're talking about right now is really the Power District, which is there off of North Temple, across from the Fair Park, which we struggled, frankly, as a state to keep afloat and keep going for quite a while. This gives us an opportunity to revitalize that area, and we've done a lot of homework. Meaning the Big League Utah team has done a lot of homework on what that needs to look like to be successful. In August, we went down to the Battery down in Atlanta and studied that one. I've been down to Texas and the Rangers and, a lot of these great ballparks where they've tried to create the kind of atmosphere that is supportive of families, is supportive of the activities that will be happening there and bringing people together. And the reality is it's sort of hard to organically create Wrigleyville without the 100 years.
Without the 100 years, yeah.
Right? So if you've been, anybody that's watching this has been up to Chicago, very different going to a White Sox game from a Cubs game. White Sox game is sometimes a little scary. It's fine once you're inside the park. Cubbies game, Wrigleyville. You want to stay there all day.
Yeah.
You want to sort of live there, right? What I saw at the Battery down in Atlanta, where they had 80 acres to create this, organic scenario. I got to tell you, I got just crazy excited about the 100+ acres that we have right now set aside for this project, because we can create it however we want to do it. And this is where I'm hoping that we'll have an opportunity here for feedback with those of you watching, right? What do you want to see? Like if you've been to your favorite ballpark around the country, what is it you'd want to have there? One of the things that I'll never forget, I had one of the one of the major league bench players, I should say, for the Braves, throwing the ball around outside the park an hour plus after the game the first night I got there, when nobody else was there. It was just me. So I went by myself. They were playing the Mets, of course, which was freaking awesome. But
I saw
he's outside.
I saw the Mets losing Battery Park down in the.
I watched him lose the next night. That's okay, but they won on Monday night.
Mets lose.
They won on Monday night. Tuesday night, when everybody else showed up, they lost bad, and it was fun. But that night, the fun part for me is there's a place for kids just to play catch.
Yeah.
Outside, an intentional place for families. What they're telling a lot of folks down there, they show up. They don't even have a ticket to the game. If they can't afford one, they can still participate because there's screens up all over. There's the restaurants everywhere, and they get to experience what that's like and to be around the team and the players and feel like they're a part of it, whether or not they're in the stadium.
We have to get that part right, because do folks even go to Miami Marlins games? Every time you see that stadium, it's dead empty.
Or Rays.
It's hard to recreate the tradition in a new environment, but Atlanta has obviously a tradition of a team, but putting it up in Cobb County was totally different than downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
They were really worried about whether it worked for them, and
they
made it an inviting environment.
You want to know the big complaint that I heard though down there? The one big complaint.
What?
Transportation.
Yeah, you have to kind of drive to it.
Yeah, it's hard. Like it is driving.
We could squash that here. We would be in a perfect spot.
Because
of tracks.
Because tracks.
Trial off in North Temple, right?
Because Front Runner, they already go there.
And it's not right in the congested part of even if you do drive.
And it's the junction of both the east and the west freeway and the north and the south.
Our transportation has hit above its weight. From the Olympics to today, we've done better than what we had expected to do. There's a lot of work left to do with first mile, last mile, things like that. But where we've really nailed it was with sporting events. Yeah. People use it to go to a Utah football game.
Yep.
People use it to go to the Jazz game. People use it to come downtown for stuff, and we could couple that really easily.
You're right by the airport.
I mean, thinking when you go to a Mets game, it's just so easy to get off the stadium.
Yeah.
Even did it. Yeah, it's Chicago's the same way. So we use that. We leverage that. That's a really strong plug for us too. Plus with the airport, it's a no-brainer. And we're better than Portland.
We are way better than Portland. All the stories that come out, I don't tell you, like you're doing the law enforcement thing, all the stories come out fairly regular basis about chaos in Portland. Our own sheriff's office here in Weber County being sent to Portland to help deal with those things. In the back of my mind, every time this happens, I'm like, sweet, let's go. Somehow make sure that gets to the commissioner's office. Like, surely he's watching.
You don't hope for it, but it's happening. We want to make sure that the commissioner knows about it.
No, and we're not gonna go all day. I could very easily do that.
Think about it from the West.
But,
if they do it one in the West and they do one in the East, like Tennessee, Nashville would be awesome. I would be very supportive. I would love to see it in Nashville. I think they would be the strongest one out there, and I think we're easily the strongest lead out in the West.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's that part. The part that I'm excited for in the future, and I hope that you are too. This is real. There'll be an opportunity here that really doesn't come around very often. They're likely only to expand to 32 teams. We've got all sorts of folks who are prepared, who are part of it. Jeremy Guthrie, of course, Dale Murphy has jumped off the Portland pit and joined ours. He lives here in Utah and couldn't be a better advocate for us around Major League Baseball. We've had several of the other Major League Baseball owners who have indicated that they're supporting our bid, who have signed on. They're working with the right people. It is a real opportunity. So at this point, I guess the invitation is going to be to contribute. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to pull this off? What do we want it to look like? And there's going to be some opportunities to participate. We hope that happens. But this is going to be our team. So let's, when those surveys come out, when those conversations start in earnest, please participate in those. Let us know what you'd like to see. At the end of the day, when I'm gone from this space and Congressman Moore's gone, and we're like really old grandpas taking our grandkids to the ballpark, and we get to go to Salt Lake City to watch the Yankees and the Mets and the Red Sox and the Cubs and the Angels and I guess the Dodgers.
I can't wait to watch the Utah Spikes come to the.
Well, that's what I'm
Stadium.
saying. Oh yeah, well then go back to DC.
Chance to go to some Nationals games. I can't wait to watch Utah come out there.
Yeah, that's going to be fun all the way across, and traveling for baseball. By the way, those numbers for Utahns are also ridiculously high. A lot of us, not just me and you, travel outside the state. I used to tell my secretary years ago that I would go to that meeting if it was a major league city and if the home team was in town. Then I'd be happy to go. I didn't really keep her to that, but she understood the point. Yeah. There's a lot of us that do that.
There'll be a lot of excitement around it.
Yeah.
We do well. We manage well. It'll be good.
What's your thing that you're most excited about, or what do you hope happens with
to not have to rely on being a Mets fan anymore?
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that.
It's been a long, hard road, sir.
Pretend like I didn't hear that.
No, that's the beauty of being a Mets fan, is we can recognize that. No, just I got 4 boys.
Yeah.
And just being able to, like you said, even if we get to the grandpa age, being able to have that. We have an amazing nation.
Yeah.
This is our national pastime, and this is a way to preserve it and help other people and kind of build a new generation of folks that are interested in it, and they're going to do it the right way.
Well, yeah.
It's exciting to build on that tradition.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's a new generation of kids who are tied to their past. Baseball's history is America's history, right? This is our game. This is America's pastime. Like, this is what it's not. Everything's equal on the field.
Hispanic community, galvanize around it.
Yep.
You have amazing black athletes that are still, they're going the baseball direction.
Yep.
And you've created something that shows the face of America.
Yep.
In a sport that bunch of old congressmen can still play.
We have whole communities. We have turmoil, racial issues all over the place. On the diamond, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's equal on the diamond. It is just about the game. And I can't wait till we can give a nice solid baseball injection into the chaos that is happening here in our own culture and our own communities with our own families. So again, Ryan Wilcox here with Blake Moore. Yeah, we have the other titles too, but that's not what this one's about today. This one's about a chance for future and Major League Baseball right down the street. And Ryan Wilcox with PoliticIt. Merry Christmas.